Hey guys, Doitonadime here. So in this video, I want to show you guys what we're doing and planting in our garden. We've been gardening for 4 years now, right Charlie?
Yeah, I think it's 4 years.
So come along with us as we garden.
The first thing I would recommend is finding a local garden store. I'm not talking about the big box store. These are people who are in your area. Ours actually sells chickens. These people are growing produce in our zone and they really know what they're talking about. Plus we're supporting the community. Ours was actually built in the 1800s, which is pretty cool. And we also use a website called Smart Gardener, which sends you email updates. So you basically know when to start planting for your zone and area. I'll put a link in the description. I'm not affiliated. We just use them for our gardening. Definitely choose plants that give you the biggest bang for your buck. I'm talking like zucchini, cucumbers, raspberries, cilantro, parsley. I'll have a link on my blog post below of all of our favorites that we like to grow. Many we grow from seed, but we do like to pick quite a few of them up from our local nursery just because we've had really good success with them. Container gardening is a great option. Just make sure that you drill holes in the bottom. So if you live in like a condo or something like that, you could definitely go that route. We use the square foot gardening method. It's also a really good space saving method and it really can control the soil just like container gardening does. And my favorite book, a friend actually gave this to us. It's by Mel Bartholomew and I highly recommend it if you're going to be square foot gardening. The color pictures in it are amazing. And in the description, you'll find a link to a video where Charlie actually walks you through how to build a raised bed box. It is really easy and inexpensive. So make sure if you haven't to check out that link. Gardening is not a perfect science and we're still learning, but here's what we're planting this year and some tips and tricks that we have learned over the past 4. If your plants are from a nursery, make sure that you do what's called hardening. Take out your plants during daylight hours, let them sit in the sun, expose them to the elements, but protect them during the cooler nights before you plant them for about a week. We usually plant in the late afternoon just because the sun is less intense, and when you go to water your plants later, the best time to water them is early morning. The great thing about square foot gardening is you can really control the soil. We just used previous soil, mixed it up, and added compost to it because that's really going to make the plants healthy. The soil is where it's at. So here, Charlie's just taking a tomato and really gently, so he's not going to break them, loosening the roots. And a tip for you, especially if you're planting like a type of tomato that needs a trellis or something to climb, these are cherry tomatoes. Plant them at an angle toward the trellis, and that way it'll kind of grow kind of in a bow shape and up the trellis a little bit easier. We're also planting peppers this year, and peppers are another plant that definitely needs a little bit of stabilization, so that's why we're putting these guys in. Something else that we've had a really good success with are beans grown from seed. We soak them first and then we plant 2 per shallow hole, and then once they sprout we take out the weaker ones, so just 1 is left. Something else that's really helpful is to stagger your planting time. So we plant 1 row and then a couple weeks later we're going to plant another row, so that way we're not going to have plants that are producing all at the same time. Lettuce is such an abundant grower. You really can get so much from it. To be quite honest, we're a little bit late in the season for lettuce, but we're still going to give it a try anyway because we got a good deal on the plants. But it's one of my favorite things to plant, especially if you like salad. 1 plant will literally produce a ton. So here you can see we've got a little bit of romaine, and Carson was super interested. We water our plants every few days, just 1 cup of water per plant, and the square foot gardening method is really great at keeping your plants hydrated, and how we keep bunnies out is this little mesh around the gate.